This is a harsh reality, but there are people in our lives who take pleasure in causing harm and chaos. Think about it. You may share a moment where you trust someone only to find out later that they are the root cause of your chaos. Today, we are going to dive deep into a topic that is both frightening and fascinating. Be aware of the signs that you are dealing with a bad person, whether it is a colleague, a friend, or even a family member. These people can be masters of deception, hiding their true nature behind charm and charisma. Today, we explore this dark side of human behavior, not just out of curiosity. Understanding these signs can be life-changing. The Stoics believed in the power of perception and the importance of living life according to reason and virtue. Identifying and understanding these harmful traits can help you protect your peace of mind and foster healthier relationships. Staying true to the Stoic principles of wisdom and self-control, we uncover the 5 telltale signs of a bad person. By watching this video to the end, you will not only be more able to recognize these behaviors, but you will also learn practical ways to protect your mental health and well-being. If you appreciate what I do here, a simple, free request is to click that subscribe button. Don't skip any part of the video. Don't miss out on a special bonus section where I share effective strategies for setting clear boundaries with these people. Let's embark on a journey of self-awareness and resilience together. 1. Attractive and charismatic at first glance. When talking about people who seem attractive and charismatic at first glance, it is important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. Such people often have a way of lighting up a room and making those around them feel special and worthy. They know exactly what to say to make you feel like you have found your new best friend. At first glance, they seem like the perfect person, funny, charming, and interested in your life. It is easy to get carried away by their charm and think that you have found someone truly special. However, Stoicism teaches us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation. Over time, small cracks can appear in the facade. Perhaps they are constantly the center of attention in social situations and need to overshadow others. They may talk down to you, interrupt you, or subtly belittle you in front of others. These are not just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality, but warning signs. The Stoics advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, not clouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Imagine being at a party where this person is the star of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. At first, you feel great being in her orbit, but as the night progresses, you realize that she dominates all the conversation and makes everything about herself. If you try to share something about your life, they quickly change the topic back to themselves. This is where the Stoic principle of detachment comes into play, not being distracted by external things. Keeping your emotions in balance will help you see through their charming acts and see the self-centered nature that lies at the heart of it. It is also important to pay attention to how they react when things don't go their way. A truly kind and caring person will deal with disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding. But someone who is only playing a role to earn your trust may quickly become angry or defensive. He may freak out or try to manipulate the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear signs of a lack of virtue. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to beware of anyone who shows signs of anger or manipulation, for these are not the characteristics of a rational, virtuous person. The key here is to take your time and trust your instincts. The Stoics believed in observation and the importance of not making hasty judgments based on first impressions. Epictetus taught us that we should carefully judge the character of the people we accept into our inner circle. So, if someone seems too good to be true, give yourself time to observe his behavior over time. Pay attention to how he deals with others, especially when he thinks no one is watching. True character is shown by how a person behaves when he is not trying to impress people. Remember that not everyone who appears charming and charismatic has good intentions. Some use their charm as a tool of manipulation. Keeping your feet firmly on the ground and being careful will protect you from being fooled by superficial things. Adhering to the Stoic principles of wisdom and judgment will help you navigate these complicated social interactions. At first glance, evil people often make themselves appear incredibly charming and charismatic. This is one of her most effective weapons, as her charm can be disarming and deceptive. According to the Stoics, appearances can be deceptive, and it is important to look beyond the surface. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often emphasized the importance of recognizing the true essence of things, rather than being influenced by superficial stimuli. Such people are adept at making a positive first impression. They know how to say the right things, convincingly converse, and express themselves in ways that appeal to our desires and insecurities. This initial appeal may hide their true intentions, making their malicious nature difficult to detect early. Stoicism teaches us to be wary of such superficial stimuli and to cultivate an inner sense of discrimination. By practicing mindfulness and introspection, we can become more sensitive to the subtle signs that reveal a person's true character. 2. Lack of empathy. Another important sign to look out for is a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It allows us to build deep connections with those around us, provide support when needed, and build meaningful relationships. However, there are some people who seem to lack this basic human quality altogether. They don't care about how their actions and words affect others, which can have devastating effects on those around them. The Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider the well-being of others as part of our own. So if you come across someone who blatantly disregards the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine sharing something very personal with a friend and expecting comfort or understanding. Instead of showing genuine interest, they may ignore your feelings or even make fun of your weaknesses. A lack of empathy can leave you feeling isolated and misunderstood. It's not just that they won't stand by you in difficult times, it's also that they won't share your joys or celebrate your successes. People without empathy won't congratulate you on your successes. They may even belittle them or take credit for them. Yourself. This behavior is not limited to personal relationships. Think of a boss who pushes employees to their limits and shows no interest in their employees' well-being. They may demand long hours without proper compensation. They may ignore requests for time off or criticize employees in public, which aims to humiliate rather than lead constructively, creating a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. Stoics advise maintaining peace of mind and integrity in such situations and realizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their emotions. Moreover, a person who cannot empathize with others may commit acts of sheer cruelty, lie, cheat, or inflict physical pain on others without feeling any guilt or remorse whatsoever. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the importance of goodness and justice and taught that our actions should always reflect our inner virtues. People who lack empathy are fundamentally disconnected from these values. Their lack of empathy shows up even in the smallest of everyday interactions. For example, you may notice that someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in what others have to say, or fails to offer help when it is clearly needed. This may seem like a small inconvenience at first, but the behavioral pattern accumulates and reveals deeper issues. The Stoics want to remind us to be attentive and critical and understand that these small signs show a person's true character. When dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it is important to set boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed that it was important to maintain our own happiness and not let the negative thoughts of others disturb our peace. You have the right to distance yourself from people who drain your energy and make you feel down. One of the most obvious signs of a bad person is a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It is the basis of moral and ethical behavior. In contrast, evil people often show serious deficiencies in this area. They are unable or unwilling to empathize with the feelings of others and, as a result, act in a cold and indifferent manner. From a Stoic perspective, empathy is closely related to the concept of oikeiosis, the natural affection we should feel towards others as part of the human community. The Stoics believed that recognizing our common humanity is essential to living a virtuous life. A person who lacks empathy essentially rejects that fundamental connection and prioritizes their own needs and desires over the well-being of others. This lack of empathy can manifest in many ways, such as ignoring the suffering of others, failing to offer help when needed, or even taking pleasure in inflicting harm. 3. Manipulation. Another key sign of a bad person is manipulation. Manipulation is when someone uses deception or cunning tactics to control or influence others to get what they want. This is a clever and insidious behavior for manipulators who are good at twisting situations. Questioning your reality and bending your will to suit their needs can leave you confused, powerless, and unsure of your own judgment. Let's look at manipulation from a Stoic perspective. The Stoics valued clarity of thought and the ability to see things. They taught that our perceptions should be rooted in reality and that we should remain true to our principles, no matter how great the outside pressures someone tries to manipulate you with. True to these Stoic ideals, a common form of manipulation is gaslighting, whether the manipulator is trying to make you doubt your own memories, perceptions, why certain events happened, or twisting your words and actions to make you feel guilty. For example, say you confront a friend about something hurtful that was said to you. Instead of acknowledging it, they might turn the tables and accuse you of being oversensitive or remembering the situation incorrectly. This can undermine your self-confidence and make you dependent on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also good at playing the victim. They might make you feel guilty and responsible for their happiness or well-being, making you do things you don't want to do. Maybe you have a friend who always complains about his problems and expects you to drop everything to help him, but he's never there for you. He might make you feel obligated to give in by saying things like, "If you were really my friend, you would do this for me." The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. We can't control the actions or emotions of others. All we can control is our own reactions to others. Think about how manipulators use flattery and charm to get their way. It may feel great at first. They may shower you with compliments and make you feel special, but over time, you may notice that their compliments come with conditions. They may compliment you when they want something from you, or when they want you to do something for them. This can make you feel like you owe them something, or that you have to meet their expectations to maintain their approval. Stoics remind us that true virtue and self-worth come from within ourselves, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulative people may try to make you feel better by isolating you from your friends and family. If you depend on them, you may be told that your friends don't care about you as much, your family doesn't understand you as they do, etc. This tactic makes it easier for them to control you because you are more dependent on their support and sense of security. Stoics believed in maintaining strong, supportive relationships with others, recognizing that we are social creatures who thrive in community. Isolation goes against these principles because it weakens our support networks and makes us more vulnerable to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic used by evil people that they use to control your finances in order to limit your independence, such as forcing you to borrow money and not paying it back, or insisting that your partner manage all of your money and asking for permission to spend some of it. For you, end the relationship or assert your independence. Stoicism encourages you to strive for self-reliance and independence. Do not be overly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing what manipulation is can be difficult, especially if the person involved is on your side. The lies of the mind. Stoicism teaches you to be vigilant and critical, to see things clearly, and to act with integrity. If you suspect that someone is manipulating you, take a step back and objectively evaluate the situation. These people will always have their own needs about yours. Do they make you feel guilty, insecure, try to control various aspects of your life, or isolate you from others? It is important to set clear boundaries and communicate clearly and firmly what you want to do. Do not tolerate. Remember that you have a right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. Stoicism reminds you that while you cannot control the actions of others, you can control your own reactions. Maintaining inner strength and clarity can help you protect yourself from harmful manipulation, reduce the effects of manipulation, and stay true to your values. Manipulation is also symbolic of an evil person. Manipulative people are adept at making others submit to their will, often through deception, coercion, or psychological pressure. They use charm and persuasion to gain trust, only to exploit that trust for their own gain. This behavior contradicts the Stoic principles of honesty, integrity, and respect for others. Central to Stoicism is the concept of pro hieris, or rational choice. It emphasizes the importance of making decisions based on reason and virtue, rather than being swayed by outside influences. Manipulative people try to undermine this rational autonomy by using subtle tactics to influence our thoughts, feelings, and behavior. They can exploit our insecurities to achieve their goals or distort the facts. 4. Controlling behavior. One of the most obvious signs of a bad person is controlling behavior. This goes beyond just preferences and habits. This is a story about someone who tries to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your own autonomy or decisions. A controlling person often disguises their actions as concern or compassion, but at their core it involves power and control. The Stoics, who valued individual freedom and self-control, considered this behavior fundamentally the opposite of a virtuous life. Controlling behavior can manifest in many ways. For example, say you have a friend who insists on deciding together where to go and what to do. It may seem harmless at first, but over time you start to notice that your preferences and opinions are constantly being ignored or overridden. He might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "It'll be more fun if you listen to me." This isn't about joint decisions. It's about one person imposing his will on the other. In relationships, controlling behavior can be even more dangerous. Your partner may monitor your whereabouts, constantly demand updates on your activities, and even search your phone, check your messages, and claim to know all your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can leave you feeling trapped and insecure. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of maintaining your inner freedom and autonomy regardless of external pressures. In the form of financial manipulation, A controlling partner or family member may take over all financial decisions and distribute money as they see fit, keeping you financially dependent. If you have money, you can manage financially, or if I take care of everything, it will be easy. This can take away your financial independence, making it difficult to end the relationship or assert your own decisions. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and the wise use of one's resources. They viewed financial domination as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way in which controlling behavior manifests is that a controlling person may try to isolate you from your friends and family, claiming that they are the only ones who truly understand you. She may criticize your loved ones, say things like your friends don't care about you that much, your family is toxic, etc. Over time, you may feel more and more isolated and end up relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. Stoics recognize the importance of community and supportive relationships and believe that isolation is detrimental to personal growth and happiness. Also, dominant people often resort to intimidation and blackmail to maintain their power, threatening to leave you, harm themselves, or hurt you. If you do not comply with their demands, you will be hurt. This creates an atmosphere of fear and anxiety that makes it difficult to think clearly and make decisions that are best for yourself. The Stoics, especially Seneca, taught that we must face our fears and not allow others to do it. Real courage and wisdom lie in resolutely resisting such threats and reclaiming our own power. It is important to understand that controlling behavior is not simply about doing things a certain way, but that it is a fundamental undermining of one's own capabilities. The Stoics advise us to recognize these behaviors for what they are, an attack on our autonomy, by remaining true to our values and maintaining the inner strength that allows us to resist. When dealing with people who exhibit dominant behavior, it is important to take back the influence of dominant people and reclaim our right to live freely. It is important to set clear boundaries and emphasize one's independence. Communicate clearly about your needs and limitations, and don't be afraid to ask for support from others who understand your situation. Remember, Stoicism teaches that while you cannot control others, you can control your own reactions and decisions. By staying true to your principles and valuing your own autonomy, you can protect yourself from the damaging effects of controlling behavior and live a more authentic and fulfilling life. Bad people often exhibit controlling behavior by trying to dominate those around them and dictate their actions. This can manifest in a variety of ways, including B. Micromanaging, isolating loved ones from their support networks, and exerting undue influence over their decisions and actions. Such behavior is fundamentally at odds with the Stoic ideal of respecting the autonomy and freedom of others. Bad people often exhibit controlling behavior by trying to dominate those around them and dictate their actions. This can manifest in a variety of ways, including B. Micromanaging, isolating loved ones from their support networks, and exerting undue influence over their decisions and actions. Such behavior is fundamentally at odds with the Stoic ideal of respecting the autonomy and freedom of others. Stoics teach the importance of personal sovereignty and the right to make decisions about one's own life. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of inner freedom and the ability to remain resolute in the face of external pressures. Controlling people threaten this inner freedom by imposing our will on others, creating a climate of fear and oppression. To counter this, we need to cultivate inner strength and resilience and assert ourselves against attempts to control or dominate us. 5. Pathological lying. Pathological lying is a clear sign of a bad person. Such people lie frequently and compulsively, often for no apparent reason. These lies are sophisticated and persuasive, aimed at manipulating perceptions and obscuring the truth. Pathological liars lack a basic respect for honesty and integrity, values central to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics valued truthfulness and transparency. They believed that living in harmony with nature meant living in truth, because falsehood distorts our perception of reality and leads us away from virtue. Pathological lying undermines trust and undermines the foundations of healthy relationships. It creates a web of deception that can entangle and harm those around the liar. Recognizing and confronting pathological lying requires vigilance and an unwavering commitment to truth. This goes beyond the white lies that most people tell from time to time. Pathological liars deceive constantly for no apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to satisfy their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be very detrimental to relationships, as it undermines trust and creates a web of deception that is difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and honesty above all else. They believed that a virtuous life is based on honesty and that deception is a fundamental betrayal of character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that one should live in harmony with nature. That is, to align one's actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, he or she lives in direct contradiction to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only oneself. Pathological lying can take many forms. It may start with small, seemingly harmless lies, such as embellishing a story to make yourself look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies may escalate to cover up mistakes or wrongdoings, or to manipulate others to achieve a goal. Goals. Pathological liars may claim to have achieved things they have not. They may misrepresent the achievements of others, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or praise. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality that could never be theirs. Identify what is true and what is fabricated. Think about how a pathological liar behaves in the workplace. They may exaggerate their contributions to a project or spread false rumors about a colleague. This can create harmful problems, an environment where trust is eroded and people are constantly on edge and not sure who to trust. The Stoics advise us to maintain our own integrity and not be influenced by the deceptive behavior of others. Epictetus taught us that we should focus on what we should believe. It allows you to take control of your thoughts and actions and not be bothered by the dishonesty of those around you. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their past. This behavior can make you feel anxious and insecure, and by constantly questioning your own perceptions, you may doubt your own memories and doubt your own instincts. That is exactly what you want from a liar. He is successful in causing confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so that he can maintain control. The Stoics reminded us to trust our own judgment and not be influenced by the manipulation of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and we should not allow the deception of others to disrupt our inner peace. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it is often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars are incredibly convincing and lie with incredible confidence and detail. They may mix truth with lies to make it even harder to see reality. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes in. We must be vigilant and critical, not taking things at face value, but seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. If you catch someone lying, pay attention to their reaction. Does he get defensive or aggressive? Is he trying to turn the tables and blame you? Or even if it was just another layer of deception, an honest person would admit his mistake and try to correct it, while a pathological liar would double down and insist on falsehoods, weaving in even more complications. The Stoics advise us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, to recognize it for what it is and not allow it to provoke us. It is also important to consider the long-term impact of our thoughts. Pathological lies can, over time, erode the foundations on which any relationship is built, and once trust is broken, it is very difficult to rebuild it. You may always wonder if you are being lied to, which could have a negative impact. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong and honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. You must decide whether it is worth dealing with the pathological liar or if it is healthier to rebuild trust. Distance yourself from harmful influences. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it is important to set clear boundaries and protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics advise us to stay true to our own values and principles and not get dragged down by the deception of others. Be clear about what you are and are not willing to tolerate, and do not be afraid to end a relationship or situation built on lies. Always remember that your peace of mind and honesty are more important than staying connected to a cheating person. So how can we protect ourselves from this harmful behavior while still maintaining peace and integrity? Setting boundaries is one of the most important skills you can develop when dealing with difficult or toxic people. Boundaries help you decide what you will and will not accept in a relationship and are essential to protect your mental, emotional, and even physical health. Stoics, who emphasize the importance of personal integrity and inner peace, see boundary setting as a fundamental practice for living a virtuous and serene life. First and foremost, it is important to realize that setting boundaries does not mean being harsh or unkind. It is about respecting yourself and getting others to respect you as well. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-esteem and living in harmony with our true nature by setting clear boundaries. When setting boundaries, you are not only protecting yourself, but also promoting healthier interactions with others. It is important to be clear about your boundaries. You need to be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and firmly. For example, if you have a friend who frequently belittles or disrespects you, you might say, "I value our friendship, but I don't tolerate people. If this continues, I have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misunderstanding in accordance with Stoic principles. This type of clear communication helps maintain order and respect in relationships. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It is not enough to set your boundaries once and expect others to respect them silently. You must always enforce your boundaries, even if it is uncomfortable and difficult. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of discipline and patience by always defending one's boundaries, demonstrating self-respect, and teaching others how to treat oneself. It is also important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time thing, but an ongoing process as relationships are built. For example, in a work environment, you may need to set boundaries on your availability and workload to avoid burnout. You might tell a colleague or boss that you are happy to help with this project, but that you cannot take on any more tasks. The Stoics advise you to balance your responsibilities and not overwhelm yourself so much that it undermines your own well-being. One of the most difficult aspects of setting boundaries is dealing with the resistance you may encounter from people who are used to getting their way, especially those with disabilities. The Stoics teach you to remain calm and resolute in the face of such challenges. Remain calm and do not give in. Allow the negative emotions of others to affect you. When you encounter resistance, remain resolute and tell yourself that boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries may mean making a difficult decision, such as withdrawing, distancing yourself from certain people, or ending toxic or harmful relationships. This may be a painful process, but it is important to maintain your mental and emotional health. The Stoics reminded us that our primary responsibility is our own virtue and happiness. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our contacts wisely and of recognizing that the society we move through can shape our character and greatly affect our happiness. With those who constantly violate your boundaries, you are strongly asserting your own values and your commitment to living a virtuous life. Seeking support from others when setting boundaries can also be effective. It is also important to consult a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. By talking about your experiences and getting their opinions and encouragement, sharing your struggles and successes in setting boundaries can give you valuable perspective, and cherishing support from like-minded people. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on humanity and human interconnectedness, the importance of mutual support. By relying on your support network, you can find the strength to maintain your boundaries and stay healthy. The Stoics reminded us that our primary responsibility is our own virtue and happiness. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our contacts wisely and of recognizing that the society we move through can shape our character and greatly affect our happiness. With those who constantly violate your boundaries, you are strongly asserting your own values and your commitment to living a virtuous life. Seeking support from others when setting boundaries can also be effective. It is also important to consult a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. By talking about your experiences and getting their opinions and encouragement, sharing your struggles and successes in setting boundaries can give you valuable perspective, and cherishing support from like-minded people. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on humanity and human interconnectedness. The importance of mutual support. By relying on your support network, you can find the strength to maintain your boundaries and stay healthy. Furthermore, setting and maintaining boundaries is also very important for taking care of yourself. For example, the Stoics believed in the importance of self-care as the foundation of a virtuous life. Having time for yourself, engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, and looking after your physical and mental health. Epictetus emphasizes the necessity: ensure your own well-being so that you can serve others and carry out your responsibilities effectively. By prioritizing self-care, you reinforce the message that your health is important and should be protected. Remember that setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and self-love. It's about acknowledging your worth and not allowing others to degrade you. The Stoics teach that our worth is determined not by external factors, but by our own actions and integrity. Setting and maintaining boundaries allows you to live in harmony with these principles and cultivate a life of peace, virtue, and resilience. Remember that your peace and integrity are worth protecting, no matter who tries to undermine them. Setting boundaries is not just a defense mechanism, it's a declaration of your worth and your commitment to living a virtuous life. In summary, if we can recognize these signs, initial charm and charisma, lack of empathy, manipulative behavior, controlling tendencies, and pathological lying, we can better protect ourselves from the harmful influence of evil people. Stoicism gives us the tools to look beyond appearances, develop inner discernment, and maintain a commitment to virtue and truth. Thank you for watching. Please kindly drop a comment to let us know how you feel about the video.